What's up, guys? Zane from Forward Progress Madden. I know it's been a long time, so I'm going to make up to you guys by coming out with an entire scheme out of it's a popular playbook, the 49ers playbook, but it's not really a scheme that many people have had the guts to run. With the sheer amount of people complaining about the Infinity Engine and the physics of the game and preventing and prohibiting you from running the ball between the tackles, even off tackle to an extent. Um, People have just kind of shied away from the run game, and it's kind of become an all out pass game. Well, I'm here to tell you that while the run game is more difficult than in years past, it is not dead. And what we're going to do is we're going to run the Niners heavy as our base formation, and we're going to use the goal line as our complementary formation. And I'll show you exactly how we're going to do so. So taking a look at this formation, the Niners heavy. First of all, we're going to notice two major things here. First of all, we have a player here, right here at this. It's basically what you would call this as a power I formation. And in the power I formation, you typically have your traditional I form backfield, but you also have an offset fullback to accompany the fullback that is directly behind the quarterback. But in the 49ers formation, this is a special player. It's actually a defensive lineman, and right here it's Isaac Sopolaga. The Niners like to use this in real life because he's a big guy. He just basically runs straight through the line of scrimmage, caves a hole, allows Frank Gore, whoever the running back is, to follow him up the middle. Very hard for defenders to get around him and make the run stop. But he's really not a threat in the passing game. In Madden, especially, as with any formation, you need the ability to throw and run, and if you want to, have the ability to run a little bit of play action game out of it as well. And Isaac Sopolaga just doesn't fit that mold. Furthermore, this player right here at this tight end position is, as you can see, it's not a tight end. It's actually another tackle. So you have not only a defensive lineman in the backfield for run blocking purposes, but you also have tackle over in the formation to help for run blocking purposes, leaving us with only really one threat to catch the ball. Out here is your starting tight end. In this case, using the Niners, it's Vernon Davis. This is nice if it's 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. You're going to run the ball 100%. Great. Go ahead and use this package. But for the purposes of running this as our traditional scheme and running the ball in a 3 yards and a cloud of dust style of offense, we're going to go ahead and go with the formation known as the wide receiver sub. And what this is going to do is it's going to place your number 1 wide receiver in at the split end position, and it's going to place your starting tight end back in his traditional tight end role on line of scrimmage. Not only that, but it's going to place your number 2 tight end as the offset fullback here. So it's nice to have. Basically gives you a little bit more balance in the formation. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and go into the coaching options and look at our receiving depth chart, because I don't believe I have one set for the 49ers. It actually is going to place your number 2 wide receiver in there. So if you're using another team other than the 49ers, plan accordingly, so such that you can have your best receiver in at this position when you use this package. So in this, if this is your base offense, you want to put your best wide receiver as your number 2 wide receiver. Just a thought. So going back to this formation, we want what, as my good friends S. Gibbs and Z. Farrells call, a three-headed rushing attack. Now, there's a couple ways that you can define three-headed rushing attack. The Cowboys used to have one in the past with Barber, Felix Jones, and Tashard Choice. They called that their three-headed rushing attack. I believe the Giants had a three-headed rushing attack in a way back a few years ago with 3 running backs that they used: a speed back, a power back, and a balance back. But what they define as a three-headed rushing attack, they being Z. Farrells and S. Gibbs, is the ability to run the ball down the middle, to the left, and to the right out of the same formation. Now, as you look at this formation, you see the ability in a couple areas to run the ball out of this formation to the left, middle, and right. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, the off tackle is the run audible, so we're never going to come out in that because we can easily access it through our quick audibles. What I've gone ahead and done is I've thrown the counter weak and the tight end PA boot into my audibles, since they're not accessible through the quick audibles. What we're going to go ahead and do is come out in the halfback power O. So we're going to come out in that against a random defense. It doesn't even matter. And you're simply just going to read the box. Right here we see that it's a little bit heavy on the defensive side to the right side of the screen. So we are not as prone to run the ball, though we could run an off tackle to this side and pick up pretty good yardage. I mean, that, if we're good at following our blockers there, I for some reason decided to cut inside rather than outside. But you also, by having this three-headed rushing attack, have the ability to go to the left. We're going to go ahead and run this counter, and you're going to notice one thing, is that this fullback gets in the way of the handoff and makes this run a failure from the onset. See how he just kind of gets in the way, doesn't allow you to really get an edge, set an edge, and get an outside, have the ability to get outside and pick up positive yards. We can fix that. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and motion snap the tight end to the right. And as soon as he gets up out of his crouch, we snap the ball. This prevents this timing where the quarterback is running into this fullback. And you'll see right here. And there we have better ability to follow our blockers. Their backside pursuit catches up to us, and we are not able to get the ball outside for a large gain. Here's the power O yet again. Notice just how our fullbacks keep the ability for the user to basically pick a gap and try to rush it. This fullback right here, Miller, really does a good job sealing off anything from the inside. I'm sorry, Miller does not. The other one, Delaney Walker, our offset fullback, does a good job taking away that gap, while the backside pulling guard is going to also take away the ability for the user to rush any lanes, which is a major factor in why players don't want to run the ball this year. So we have two players clogging up the middle, which really does us a lot of good in basically running the ball off tackle, because people can't rush inside the A gaps and B gaps and drag us down from the backside. Here, very much the same. We get this little lane and we just follow a convoy. We're looking at a variety of defensive fronts just so you can see how I would adapt. Here, we can run the off tackle. We can run the power O. It doesn't matter. What I prefer to do is lay off the turbo until I see what I want to see developing in front of me from a blocking standpoint. There, as you notice, we can run power O to either side of the formation. This actually was an off tackle that we flipped to the left. Here again, we see the counter ability. With the defense a little bit loaded towards the right side of the formation, we can run this counter for pretty decent yardage. Assuming Moss stays on his block, we had pretty good lane to run there. So here, obviously, you know, you're going to look to run the ball down the middle, but I'm not going to waste time running this on quarters. So let's go ahead and get out of this and go back into something against my favorite run defense in the game. So we're coming out in, you know, whatever run you want to come out in. I come out in the power O. Let's set it up against my favorite run defense dating back to last year, the overplus cover 1. And what I did out of this is I always shifted the line left for gap integrity, just kind of gave us a better, it gave us less weak spots in the defense. So as you can see here, we have a pretty good group of guys in the box. Not really prone to running the ball. However, the off tackle does a good job at sealing and giving you the ability to run to the outside, assuming that the tight end holds his block. There actually our fullback did not latch on and hold his block, and Vernon Davis released, but we still get positive yards out of it. So if you see something like this, you can go ahead and run the counter. Like I said, you've got 3 guys pulling out in front of you, and you can pick up pretty good yards out of it. Now, yes, when you run something like this, you're prone to see looks on defense where guys are going to throw 10 in the box on you and really say, okay, throw the ball on me. Now, this is where this offense is very, very nice. What we have is the ability to, 1, we can run this play action play. And just look at how man coverage is aligned against this. We have Cam Chancellor all the way on the left side of the screen playing the weak side of the formation, aligned with Delaney Walker on the right side. This presents problems in that you're going to have somebody open no matter what in this flat if you're playing man coverage against it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. You have a long way to go out here to defend a guy. And actually, Cam Chancellor was not the one who played it. So if we go back into the replay, Cam Chancellor is so far away that they had to switch. And this switch right here put still the backside linebacker, weak side linebacker right here, right on him, having to chase him all the way to the flat. Get the ball out quick and pick up, pretty good yards in the flat. The problem is going to be even more amplified from a man coverage standpoint if you're blitzing, because there's going to be nobody to switch and hold that man accounted for. And even look here, we're blitzing, we're running a 7-man blitz to stop the run. Frank Gore is unaccounted for. So man coverage is not the choice against this defense to stop the pass, which presents a problem because it's very hard to stop the run out of a zone-based coverage. So let's go into another reason I really like this Niners heavy formation to throw out of as well, even though you only have a select few pass plays. I'm going to go ahead and call man coverage. The problem we have here in this formation, right, is that with the man coverage, you only have one wide receiver on the field and he's getting pressed. You do have these guys to throw to, but they're in the backfield, not going to create a whole lot of separation just running routes to the flats. Not an ideal situation. And another thing, 7 guys are on the line of scrimmage, of course. You have your quarterback, running back, and 2 fullbacks off for your 7 through 11 guys that can be off the line of scrimmage, meaning that you should not be able to motion snap Moss. However, such is not the case with this. You are able to motion snap Moss, and I'll just show you. You can motion him to the inside and even snap it, which presents you with problems. He's unbumpable. So there we just put him on a streak and motioned him to the inside and threw an inside pass lead. Something that everybody likes to do. Another thing you can do is put him on a fade. Same thing. Motion him a little bit further inside and do a very similar thing. So this is a crazy weapon to have in that he's on the line of scrimmage and he's unbumpable. You rarely see that out of a split end in this game. If you'll notice on this side with Vernon Davis, we'll run a pass play here. If you motion, you cannot motion Vernon Davis. You can motion Delanie Walker, but he just goes to basically create an I-form twin tight end set. And that brings me to my next point on this. This formation is very, very flexible. So as you see, we motion Delanie Walker right, he makes it a twin tight end. We motion him left, it makes it I-form big. We motion Miller right, it makes it, we can't motion Miller right. If we motion him left, it makes it full house. If we motion Frank Gore out of the backfield, it makes it near formation. If we motion Gore to the right, it's again another rendition of the near formation. You just have twins on one side, or you can have solo receivers. It doesn't matter. So this formation is very, very versatile. The next thing, you can motion Moss all the way to the inside, and he'll go down into a 3-point stance and lead block for you. This creates basically goal line power, a power eye goal line formation. Now, the next thing you can do is once you motion Moss to the inside, we have the ability to go to the tight subset of this, which just creates basically a goal line formation. Now we have a goal line formation with a lot of stuff that we can do. We can run something like this. We can run something like this. And it's going to give a lot of problems to man coverage as we now have the ability to throw this corner route. We can throw the ball up the seam. We got whip patterns, delay routes, this really awesome fullback route that basically runs off. It runs the man to one side and then cuts back over the middle. So as you can see here, the man that's defending him is well off of him. You can create a lot of mismatches and switches with that route. I'll let you guys fiddle around with it and see what you guys like to do the most with it. So, okay, how about the next thing? Let's go back and go into this formation right here. We've got this goal line formation. So this is something that when you break the huddle, You break the huddle, and let's assume that we're going to the line of scrimmage, and you want to go ahead and audible into this play right away. You're not going to show the heavy formation. You're just going to show goal line. Your opponent typically is just going to think this is goal line. So what we do now is, if you notice when we go back to the play call screen, we do not have a couple of plays that would make this formation very dangerous. We do not have a toss. We do not have a fullback dive. If we had a run right up the middle to the fullback, a quick hitter up the middle to hold the defense accountable, this formation is complete. And by having the goal line in your audibles, you do have that. The only problem is this. If we come out and audible into this formation, and we want to go ahead and go to, say, looking at the audibles, we've got the LB audibles, the fullback dive, and the RB audibles, the strong toss, both out of the traditional goal line. You cannot audible from this subset into the goal line because you'll have the players switch. It is fast, but it is an immediate tell to your opponent that, hey, he's going from this sub formation into the goal line. Most advanced players will be able to figure that out. You may get away with it versus lesser skilled players and players who don't really know the playbooks too well. So what I suggest is when you come out in this set and you think you want to audible into the goal line, the fullback dive or the toss, go ahead and just audible straight into it. Players may not know the difference right out of the huddle. They're not going to notice that Moss and Walker and Davis are all flipped if you audible right out of the huddle into it. And then you can go ahead and run the fullback dive right up the middle for positive yardage, or the toss to the outside for positive yardage. But I do not recommend trying to audible from the goal line into the tight sub formation. And that's because you're going to give a direct tell. Even though it's quick, I just don't recommend it because you don't want to tell your opponent too much about what you want to do. So, whether it be that you want to run the goal line or the tight, audible straight into it. Do not try to trick your opponent by audibling between the subset and the goal line formation. Now, I want to go ahead and go into something else just real quick. If you prefer, you can come out in, like if you have I know in a tournament scene, if you have 1 yard or less to go, you can call QB sneak. So, what I like to do, especially online, if you're in an online tournament league or any online money game, you can get away with this. You will not get away with it live because they're going to see obviously you're calling a goal line play to start. What I'll do is I'll come out, I'll call the QB sneak, and I'll immediately as I break the huddle, audible into this real formation. They're going to see the same personnel on the field if you come out in this formation. They're going to see 3 tight ends and 2 running backs. And formation we use in this can be 3 tight ends and 2 running backs as well. So you come out in this formation and immediately audible to, as you're walking to the line of scrimmage, into the QB sneak. They're not going to know that you don't have the QB sneak in your audibles. You quick snap it on them and run for an easy first down. They're not going to be prepared for it. And they're not going to think that you have the QB sneak in your audibles, which you don't anyways. Another thing you can do is go ahead and go to your audibles and actually put the QB sneak in it, so that way you don't ever have to call it. That's a preference thing. Myself, this is the scheme I would run. I would have the counter weak, the power O, the tight boot, the strong toss, and the fullback dive. And I would just go ahead and use the little intricate passing schemes in the flats with the switch because they can't run man. Guy's going to be wide open in the flat. You can motion that split end in and still snap it without him being set. You can go ahead and use the other unbumpable tight end that's on the line of scrimmage to avoid press coverage over in the middle. You can do a lot of things with this formation. And if you're passing on them so much that they go zone, that's going to open up the run. Or if you want, you can go ahead and use the run to open up the pass. Totally up to you how you want to do it. But this formation is able to be run, and you are able to run the ball in this game and basically achieve a dominant 3 yards in a cloud of dust style of offense, like I said. If you want, since the off tackle is the quick run, you can go ahead and add one of these other tight runs to your audibles. So your opponent's going to not always assume that you're going to pass the ball if you're in this subset. So if you want to add the tight lead or the tight power O, totally up to you. Furthermore, I do want to show one more weapon that you can use on this if they're playing off coverage. These stock fades are absolutely killer. So let's go ahead and just call like a man blitz. I'm going to go ahead and just call... I'm going to call double safety blitz just for the sake of clearing out the safeties to show you how dangerous this is if they're in a zero blitz. So let's say we come out in the power O, halfback power O, since we added the other tight lead to the audible, got rid of the power O. We'll just come out in the power O as our base call. I'm going to show you how dangerous this fade is right here to Moss. When Moss runs this little stutter off the line of scrimmage, if you throw an inside pass lead, he'll get inside position every time. Easy, very easy catch. When he stutters, the DB here, I believe that's Brandon Browner, yes, is going to cheat to the outside, allows you to throw it inside and pick up easy yards versus off coverage, of course. If you see, Browner rolled down into press, that's an immediate sign that you want to go ahead and use the max protect fade technique that I told you about earlier, where you just motion Moss inside, snap the ball, and right here he does actually a really good job staying on him, but Alex Smith misses the throw. Let's try that one more time. If they're rolled down into press coverage, you can still get this inside positioning because you can motion Moss to the inside. As soon as he gets inside on Browner, just go ahead and throw the inside pass lead and pick up big yards. Notice there, the backside or the strong side corner almost picked that off. That's because your fullback and your tight end are blocking for you. So if you don't want that guy floating around in a zero blitz, go ahead and put your guy on a route, but you run the risk of the pressure getting in like it did here. So just a preference thing. But this video is coming up on almost 23 minutes now, so I'm going to go ahead and sign it off from here. I just wanted to, give back to you guys. Basically, I don't want to make a lot of excuses. I know the channel has been a little bit slow lately, and trust me, that's not because I don't have material for you guys. It's actually, I don't want to get into it too detailed, but I am in med school now. I was accepted to a program, the tuition's waived. It's basically my primary job now is to go to school and pass these courses and go on and possibly have a job waiting for me in a couple years when I'm done. But I'm not done playing Madden. In my spare time, I really enjoy playing the game. I'm going to do my best to get you, three videos a week is going to be my aim. Try to get more gameplays up like I did with Coach K last week. We'll get some of my gameplay up. C4 playoffs are starting up this coming week, so be tuned for those. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this scheme. I wanted to give back to you guys because you guys are being really patient with me. I haven't heard anybody coming to me say, hey, where's the videos? Why are you slacking or anything like that? So I did want to get a video up for you guys so that way you could, look at something maybe you haven't looked at in this game. I know the Niners playbook was in the demo, but not a lot of people are running this scheme, and it's a great scheme to run. Really establish a crazy rush attack, mix in the goal line, mix in the sub-tight formation that's in this, and really get some different personnel packages on the field to confuse and really just baffle your opponent. Having a guy like Isaac Sopoaga, that's a big guy, creates a lot, especially with the physics engine. Hard to get around a guy like that and make a tackle on the ball carrier. So go ahead and take a look at this formation. Go back, check out the audibles. I'll try to list them in the description. Just kind of give you a basis for what I like to do out of this, but more than welcome to mold it to however you like, because there's literally 1,000 ways you can run this scheme. Pass first, run first, mix in the play action, use the fullback route on the play action to create switches. Like I said, do what you want. You can even get into some stuff where you motion go route and snap it and throw it to him in the flat. Totally up to you. Let me know what you guys do. Post it in the comments, rate, subscribe. We're really going to be getting heavy into this stuff. Tournaments are starting to occur. The juices are really rolling right now. So we'll get some more stuff to you guys as the week goes on. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks, and until next time, get in the lab. Peace.